And let's see if that feed gets over to YouTube. It seems like it is. It's taking it a minute. There you go. All right. All right, so welcome everybody to another edition of the Dev Roundtable. Just making sure that everything is working properly. And while we do that, let's start out with the introduction. I'm joined with the full cast this time. Well, not the full cast. We're still missing D Steel, but he hasn't been able to join us since this started going live. So, boys, introductions. Top down.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Crawly. I'm the developer of Draft of Darkness. It's a dungeon crawler deck builder RPG game with survival and resource elements. And it's currently in alpha and it's available to play on the Crawly Games Discord server for free. And you can join the server and play it directly. And it's going to be released on Steam in early 2021 as early access. And right now you can go ahead and wishlist it on Steam. So yeah, thanks.
Epic. Keep it going, boys.
Hi, I'm Enogames. I'm developing a Toke's Journey, a cooking management game with RPG mechanics, as well in the alpha phase. And a link to the Discord is in the description, and you can contact me to lay hands on this alpha.
That alpha's going to get those hands. And last but not least,
Hey guys, I'm Eric. I'm a content creator on YouTube and a freelance artist. I don't really have any big projects currently, but I am kind of doing a little bit of writing for a potential comic book. So there is that. You can follow me on Twitter and stuff. There will be links provided.
all those links are
I'm
in
also
the.
running on like no caffeine, so I am very tired.
We're getting a mellow version of Eric today.
You get in the mellow.
And I am Dreaming Dice, your humble host, and I am currently making a grand strategy / tactical game. All the links to everybody in the roundtable's different projects and social media is in the description down below, as well as already the links for who we're going to be reviewing today. Keep in mind that if you want to have us look at your content, or you just want to join the roundtable, just want to join it a day, or you want to become a recurring member, all that's open. Just join the Discord, which the invite for that is in the description down below. So, boys, we got 6 different ones that we're going to look at today. I think you're going to enjoy it. I'm going to call out Crawly because he didn't post anything. So, boo Crawly. Everybody just shame on Crawly. So I bet he's screaming at his assistant as we speak.
Eric didn't post anything as well.
Yeah, but
Why
yeah,
am
but
I
it's been
getting
yeah,
the
but
boost?
see, yeah, but Eric has been consistent with his disappointments. You see, there's a difference.
Oh, okay.
Consistently disappointing.
I
You know.
consistently don't post anything.
So
Okay,
so you have
yeah,
to respect
We are
that.
used to this.
fair.
So anyway, we got 6 posts as I said today, and the first one we're going to look at, we're just going to do it in order, just for you know to make it more easy, and for anybody in the audience, if you want to know which tweet is which, it's going to be reviewed in the exact same order that it's posted in the description. There's a little divider where you can see the tweets that we're looking at today. So we're going to start with Eno. So let's load that up real quick. And this is the part where I start messing everything up, because I should have that open and ready, but then it wouldn't be the roundtable now, would it? Okie dokie. And we're here. I'm going to, as usual, I'm going to read his tweet. We're going to take a look at the video, and then everybody except Eno is going to comment, and we're just going to be as mean as possible. Like, we're just going to lambast his content and make him feel as terrible as we can. And there's OBS on screen. It shouldn't be on screen. So, Enogames says, hashtag screenshots Saturday and the little chef, Over the course of the week, I've polished the skills system and added some visual feedback. Furthermore, the description is now shown when you hold the info button. As always, feedback and comments are much appreciated, and this is made with Unity. So let's expand that just so we get the entirety of Twitter compression on the video, just so we can appreciate how Twitter completely destroys Eno's hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And let's play that. All right. Yeah, I'm actually going to do a little cheat here. And I'm actually just going to not maximize it. And instead, I'm going to expand the website page, which kind of looks a little better doing it like that. So, okay, it's already looping. Boys, who wants to start it out?
I can.
All
You go
right,
first, Crawly.
go
Hit
ahead.
me.
Okay. Um, well, first things first, I really like the general representation, and it really fits like your general like direction with the like notepad kind of style, and it fits with the comic style as well. Um, I like the representations for like how much levels I give to the skills. And it's really cool that like the next position of the star is showing me like how much skill that I have. I think that's very clear and nice. And I like that you have like different button colors to represent like different states. Like I know that I reached the max level, and I can't click that button anymore. Um, so in general, it's pretty cool. Really nice progress. But things that I have is mostly like it's kind of too plain to me. Maybe you can add some icons and stuff to different skills. Um, like you can add like something to represent like soups and salads as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just the yeah, it's kind of plain looking
Mm-hmm.
in general. And another thing is that kind of seemed weird. The button on the top left, I thought that was a title at first, but you click that to change between abilities and skills. Maybe it can be a bit more obvious that it's I mean it's the same color as the buttons, but still make it like more obvious there is transition between the two windows. Maybe separate buttons and make one like deactivated, that kind of stuff. Um, and yeah, like as I've said, I think you can add a bit more polish to it. It has like a lot of space. In terms of that, like you can add some variations to the like notes, like little um, chipped out like parts in the notes. They're all like kind of at the same positions for all the notes. They can be a bit varied, things like that to add some, you know, um, more variety. But other than that, it's pretty cool, and I really like the style. So yeah, that's my opinions.
Thanks.
Awesome. Uh, well, I mostly, first off, I really like the fact that you took last week's criticism to heart, and you can now see the little information bulb, which is cool. Your tweet says that you have to hold it, so you have to put your finger on it and hold it, or do you just tap it?
You got to hold it
Okay.
as soon as you release the finger from the I button. It's gonna be back to normal.
I'm not much of a mobile guy, but maybe consider like a tap activate, tap deactivate kind of thing, because it could be awkward if I'm trying to read and I have my finger that I have to keep holding there, so I have to kind of bend my phone a little bit or something. I mean, I don't know if you play it like horizontally, if that's an issue or not, or whatever, but maybe just do a toggle system rather than a hold one whenever you're going to
Mm-hmm.
read, so your hand isn't in the in the way. Again, that's coming from a non-mobile kind of guy. That's just my experience, with other apps and stuff. Also, I think that the cost. I think you first off, your effects are great. I really like the little star explosion and everything. It really, I mean, that's really, it looks really, really good. Um, I might actually ask you a bit about that on a later moment, because I don't know if you use straight up particles in the UI, or you have like a sprite sheet or whatever. I mean, it looks like particles, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
They are.
um, which was probably kind of nightmarish to do. Um,
No.
oh, okay. Um, okay, not what I was expecting. It's just because of the. Well, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, I do think that one improvement you could do, besides everything that Crawley said, I agree particularly with the icon stuff, since
Mm-hmm.
with research trees and stuff, that really, it's really good to see things that are of a similar, I guess, family or type. And that usually is best to do with icons and stuff that people can immediately associate. Oh, soup, soup, meat, meat, etc. Meek, meek. Uh, but the thing that I think is like the most jarring that I think is like the next step of work is in your costs, those numbers, it didn't immediately click with me that those numbers were the costs. In fact, there's a point at about 22 seconds in, like middle of the video, where you're increasing the product knowledge, a skill or attribute or ability or whatever. Um, and the stars keep going up, and the number next to it represents the cost as how that goes up with each star. I thought for a second that was like the amount of stars, and I was like, oh, is that a bug? It's saying three. Oh, it's saying three, but there's 4 stars, and then I realized, oh, it's cost. So a trick that is helpful in these things is, number one, have like say kind of have like a background icon or something to indicate that that's the cost, because just like the one there, it's not immediately obvious that it's the cost. And the second part is that when you actually spend the skills, if you've ever played like a game where you have a shop, for example, whenever you buy it, you not only get like the cha-ching sound and the animation on whatever you bought, like it becomes green or it moves through your inventory, but you also get the amount of money reducing in a slow manner, like number per number. Like if it goes from 100 to 90, it doesn't immediately turn into 90. It goes like 100, 99, 98. It goes really quickly. The reason to do that is to catch the player's attention so that he knows this is the resource you spent, and that's particularly helpful at the beginning. Uh, so maybe those are some cool add-ons you can do. But overall, like it's really really good. Uh, I'm about 45% jelly, so congratulations on that,
Thanks.
Eric. It's you.
Yeah, I was reaching. I forgot that I switched over to quick talk.
Have you been sleeping?
I, I wish. I guess the only other thing I would add is I would add on to what Crowley was talking about with like the skill and ability button, because this is kind of the view of like, it almost looks like it's supposed to be kind of like a recipe book kind of idea with the like paper design. The thing you can do is move the button that allows you to switch back and forth. Have it so both of those buttons are actually up at the top where like the blue skills is, but then have the other one tabbed behind it. So when you
Yeah,
click on it,
tabs.
it switches them.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can immediately look and see, oh, that's how I switch back and forth between what skills, what's abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or maybe
it'd
straight
be
up to the
more obvious
side.
to the eye.
Mhm.
But other than that, yeah, like all the little spark effects are really nice. Lets you know that you're, doing a thing. Having the info definitely works. I would agree that having it so you just have to tap the little info button a little more convenient because then you can get your hand out of the way, which makes it easier to read. But having it there is definitely really nice. And then yeah, just like Dream was saying, just something to make it a little bit more obvious that you're having the like countdown of skill points being subtracted. You can even have it so that like over by where skill points is, have it so the number that you just spent kind of flicks in and then fades off as like a minus whatever the number was.
Yeah.
That'll give a visual indicator to catch the player's eye back up to that spot to let them know, oh, things happening.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that'd be the only other things I could add on.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Anybody got any closing thoughts, or you guys want to move on? Any thoughts on the?
Um,
Yeah.
no.
All right.
Thanks for your input. I will do my changes.
Cool. And we will, I guess, see it in the future. So now let's go to my stuff. So I'll just read it. For Screenshot Saturday, I've been working on the. Let me just make sure that. Yeah, okay, it's there. For Screenshot Saturday, I've been working on the location management system, a small add-on from the last week. Here is what happens when you build the outpost. Location resources are now responsive to construction. So I'll just play that. And since it has no audio, you guys can talk whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, I like the icon. And the fact that there's icons there now is actually really nice. Gives you like a nice visual representation that hey, something is there. And then also your little icons, I just noticed, yeah, they update when you decided to build the outpost.
Yep, that's this week's post. The 300 that's added and the actual icon of the outpost that's there with the pop-up message.
What's the
Yeah, very
question
nice.
mark for?
What was that?
There's like a question mark in the building screen.
That's info.
Um,
That's the pop-up that you see after it's built, where it gives you like information about the building.
yeah.
That's also there when you haven't constructed it and you're looking at the list. I put a interrogation, a question mark there, because right now that location only has one building available, but that's a responsive container that if you had like 6 of them available, they would all change in size to fit and you could scroll a little bit. So rather than like writing it straight on the icon and worrying about then the words being too small, I put a little icon for hover so people can go, oh, that's what this does. And I also didn't want to do like a separate window that you open and it gives you more info, at least just for like the general description. I might do that later, but yeah.
Yeah, a bit confusing, but
Okay, that was some dead air. You got,
Hey, I already said my thing.
you know,
Yes. I got. I looked at the tweet yesterday already, and something is not really clear enough for me in my head.
sure.
When you start building, before you have built the outpost in your video, the top panel with the resources, everything is saying 0, but after you've built it, it's 300, and I don't really get how you can have more money, or how you gained money, or is it meant?
If you look at the
I've been
beginning,
thinking about this yesterday.
if you look at the beginning of the video, you'll notice that there's a bar on the top that's red, that's outside of everything, like before you even select it. You notice that there's 500 gold there, for example.
Ah, yeah.
That is the resources that you currently have. Like that is your
Mm.
resources. Then when you click on the location, the bar that you're seeing is the location resources. Like what is that location giving you at the end of each day? And when it has no buildings, it
Ah.
gives you nothing. When you construct an outpost, the description of the outposts uh, hints at the fact that it allows you to garrison people there, and it generates money. So
Ah,
when you build it,
okay.
it generates now 300 per turn.
Oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I get. I thought first of all these are the resources. Maybe you need to build something in there, or you're gonna use these resources inside of the forest of Ronin. I
No, no,
thought,
yeah, I see what you
yeah,
mean.
but now I get
I
the
should
gist
probably make
where.
that more clear. I should probably change like the color and put like a plus sign on it or something, so that you know this is going to be added on to your resources. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I should
So
probably
yeah,
make that more
with
clear.
each section you are able to gather resources, and in
Yeah,
the main hub, this is the obviously
yeah,
the resources you have. These are the ones you are spending when you're building. Yes.
yes, that is like your
So
general
you got to
resource. Yeah,
pay 500 for the outpost.
yeah,
In the end of the video, unfortunately we don't see it, but there should be zero
yeah,
gold
yeah, yeah.
coins.
It's not the top bar is still not updating because the top bar has a lot of resources that actually don't exist in the game that I'm actually cutting because I think there's too many. So right now the top bar isn't updating. That's intentional. Good eye.
Ah, nice, nice. Yeah, now I understand. I've been looking at this post yesterday and I thought, why is this now more? And now I get it. Yes. Oh, of course. Yeah, overall,
So I guess
yeah,
what
it's a sum up to the last week. And yeah, it's quite nice now that we have really an icon there and you see there's something happening. I would still love to see an object implemented on the
yeah.
in the world hub, but yeah, we're gonna see what you're doing with this.
Yeah, kind of how I said last week. I'm taking Eric's advice and kind of leaving that for last and just getting functionality out of the way. Um, but I guess overall, what I get from you guys from this week is that I think the menu should be more clear. There's a little bit too much ambiguity. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So I'll work on that for the following week. I was mostly coding this week, so didn't have a lot to show. But okay, cool. So clarity. Perfect. So let's move into the next one, unless anybody wants to say anything else.
I have one more thing that when you build, it's like going to the
Yeah,
overworld view.
yeah.
Is it like gonna like show it visually there? If
Ye-
not, maybe it should like stay in the window.
Yeah, that was actually
Because if I'm
a
not seeing,
critique I was expecting that nobody had mentioned up until now. It's supposed to go back straight to this window, but I realized that the method that's listening to the delegate is the close method rather than the return method. And by the time I
mm,
made the video, so I was like, oh crap, well, screw it, I'll just leave that in and see what if anybody noticed. But no, it's supposed to go back to the menu. um, there is supposed to be right now there is code implemented for there to be a pause so that it takes it into the world. It zooms in. Each location has its own custom camera, um, so it zooms in to the location and you see the building come down from the ground. I haven't finished that implementation because I'm taking Eric's. Eric mentioned a couple weeks ago that maybe I should focus more on gameplay rather than prettying it up because that doesn't really add anything from a gameplay perspective. So I kind of put that at the end of the list for now. So right now the actual implementation should be it should have just gone back straight to the other menu without having to click it again.
all right, cool.
Notice I'm
Yeah,
just blaming Eric. it's his fault. He's my scapegoat in all this. So whenever you give me advice, I'm just going to take that and say, Crawly told me or told me. So Eric is my scapegoat now. So let's go to the next one. So uh, this is from Alex at CPTN Sai, so Captain Sai, I guess. No more clumsy attempts to pick up a sword from the ground in panic mode. Now it's possible to pick up or change weapons, excuse me, from a distance and even midair with the weapon dash. So let's check it out. It's already looping here. I think I'll take the first stab at it. Um, so yeah, I really like the. I brought this one because we don't tend to look at first-person 3D games, particularly those that are kind of fast-paced. I love the effects on this game. The particle effects are great. The illumination is fantastic. I don't know if they're using like bloom or a light emitter for the faces of the enemies, those little red lantern things. But whatever they're using, it looks great. Um, and overall, I like that the combat seems to have crunch. Like when he kicks the guy, you really have that sense of impact, which really is one of the hardest things, in my opinion, for indie devs to kind of get right, particularly in action games. That kind of crunch feeling when you really hit something that has weight to it. Uh, what actually gets that weight, I'm not really sure. It's a combination of sound, maybe movement stutter or whatever. Maybe Eric can key us in on that, or Crawly. But yeah, I really like what this guy did here. It looks really fantastic in my opinion. And the whole frantic pace of the combat looks really fun.
Yeah, adding weight is definitely an important thing. You can do it with sound, but also with kind of the effect of animation in the camera, where when he's hitting an object, you can tell just by the swing of the sword that it connected with something. It's got that little bit of a stutter from the initial hit. The kind of the physics of him being dragged to the weapons is really nice. You can see that the like camera ducks down a little bit as if being pulled. So they definitely did a really good job with the animations and the camera work to make it feel like everything has physics um, and actually interacting with everything else around it. And I do love it. I like how at the end it almost looks like he like yeets himself off the edge of that cliff. So that, which would be cool. It's like, hey, be careful when you do this weapon grab dash. You might throw your ass off a cliff and die, which just adds a little bit of extra skill involvement to it. I really like it. I like the way it feels just watching it. It'd be interesting to play.
I certainly agree with that. I don't know if anybody noticed, but there's a moment where he's got anime lines when he's running. Like it
Oh
almost
yeah,
looks like it's anime lines. It's probably just because of
you
the
get some
camera
speed lines.
perspective, but it looks anime as fuck, which is great. Uh, okay, hit me up. What's up?
I love the pace of this game. This is the kind of style of games I like. Um, I like really action games, and like you said, you really feel the impacts and the heaviness of the attacks and everything. And it's fast paced, and you can do quite some nice stuff with your sword, throw it away, and then jump to it and grab it again, and the overall atmosphere and, as you said, the lighting and everything is really quite well. I might have to take a look deeper into this guy, because he's making maybe a game which I might like. Overall, it's great. I like the speed and the pace of it.
Crawly.
Really awesome work.
Yeah. Um, well, I'm really amazed. It looks great. Um, it would feel really good to play. Um, yeah, I really like it. Has like kind of um like cartoony maybe textures, like maybe they're going for like a bit cartoony style, like maybe like enemies are corrupted or something. Um, at first, I was getting like this, it has this um, like serious um, I don't know feel to it, which made this like float characters
Edgy
a
as
bit
hell.
feel weird. But in the like gameplay perspective, I understand that they're like probably you can like hit the enemies midair, so they're like um, there's a gameplay reason for them to be like these floaty ragdolling everywhere. Um, but it kind of looks like they're in space, but you know um, it probably has a reason as well. And you know, only thing I can say is maybe these songs repeat too much, but other than that, like hitting the enemies, they make this like same sound. Um,
I'm sorry, what
but
sound? Can you repeat? Can you repeat that?
no, I can't. Okay, well, yeah, I can't. Yeah, it looks great. I can't find anything else to say.
Awesome. Eric, I think you're up. Or no, you were the first one. My bad.
I already talked.
Yeah. Uh, does anybody else look at this and think that this could probably make a great VR game for like the first 10 minutes and then you'd probably throw up, but
Oh no.
Oh yeah,
No,
no,
I
motion sickness would kick in hard.
yeah, I think for VR this might be too much speed and
Mm.
I think this
too much
is
rotation and everything, but
I mean, it'd be a great 10
otherwise,
minutes before you threw up.
yeah,
maybe a
of course.
slower version.
All right. So once again, that's Alex Captain Sai at Captain Sai, CPTN Sai. His link is in the description below. So next, we got Quill Studios. Is that the YouTuber Quill?
Uh,
Nah.
from Quill Creates.
Yeah, they have the same name. Interesting. No, it's not. It's not. It's
Yes,
clearly
no,
not.
I don't think so.
No, this isn't the kind of game he makes. So, brought a little something for position shenanigans. It's a GIF, so we can just talk over it immediately. Um, just wanted to bring something a little bit different for this one. Clearly a
A bit
visual
of a
novel.
visual novel effect
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So the visual novel effect here. So mostly, I mean, it's really hard to give like impressions on this. I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the art and what do you guys think. Uh, and I guess in general, if this tweet makes you want to click on his profile and find out more. So I guess I'll start it out because it's kind of difficult to talk about a GIF. Um, I honestly don't understand that much the whole positions thing. I know like the dude is switching like from the background to kind of the foreground, but he's really just moving them in the y-axis. So I don't really understand, that. I like the shadow that he placed on each of the characters, and I like the intention of having kind of depth in them, which is something that a lot of visual novels, just kind of skimp out on and just put the two characters and, they make three or four of the same faces in a loop, and that's it. So I like that he's going with this depth of field thing. Like in particular, when if you pause it and they're all in shadows, it does look like he's further away. It's well done because he's smaller and all that, and he looks like he's further away. And it's got all of the little things that visual novels have, like the back, the history, all that. I wonder if this is made in Rempi. It's Rempi, right? The popular Python visual novel engine. Uh, I wonder if it's made in Rempi, and the illustrations are anime as hell, which is pretty much perfect for visual novels. So what do you guys think?
I mean, it's just like from what I'm seeing here, it's definitely very clear that what he's trying to just show off is that like, as you'll notice, the names are changing from like the character being Glown to like main character or no character, and they're basically just showing you that while you're talking, whatever character is being highlighted will literally highlight, but also it looks like they'll have a little bit of an animation of them like popping up, especially because he's in the background. So when he's actually needed to speak, it'd be nice to have him, come up a little more in focus. But then you see when it goes to like nothing or main character, they're pretty much all grayed out because none of them are currently speaking. But yeah, it's a nice effect. It might be a little bit too jumpy. Like it's really moving a lot. So maybe they could definitely make it a little bit more subtle. Maybe just have it so they like kind of just bounce up a little bit, like maybe just like 4 or 5 pixels. Maybe have a little animation of them kind of bob a little bit, because just little like fun little visual things to keep your attention, because it's a visual novel. Like it's basically the next step of a comic book where you can actually get a little more interaction. So why not have a little more fun?
Awesome. Who's next?
When the character moves up, their feet are kind of cut.
Yeah, I
close to
think he
the
didn't mean
back.
to move it that much. I think it was supposed to move only up to the to this area here to the.
I mean, even if he did move it only up there, I mean, I think the
It's
background
noticeable,
of
yeah.
the thing is, yeah, it's transparent, so it will be probably noticeable. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll just add their legs.
Roger that.
Okay, thanks.
Eno, any? So Crawly is a pro leg person. That's
Yes,
just
he
if
likes
anybody's
legs.
keeping score on the lore here. Crawly is a leg person, so he appreciates the legs.
I want legs, please.
So
um,
yeah,
yeah, as Eric said, it's a nice idea to highlight the character which is actually talking, but yeah, I think as well that he didn't mean to let this character jump up that much, because it looks a little bit like awkward. Like instantly he's just flipping up. Um, yeah, either make it a slower movement, but even then, the amount of going up is might be a little bit too much. But the highlighting itself is quite nice, and you can instantly see who is talking. You don't really have to pay attention to the name itself, which is highlighted on the left
yeah.
in the speaking bubble. But apart from that, I don't have anything to add.
All right, so this was just a quick one, just to show the visual novel devs a little bit of love. And again, this is at Quill Studios, Quill_Studios, link in the description. So now let's move on to Vagrous Early Access Live on Steam and GOG at Lost Pilgrims. He says, great idea indeed. Thanks for the tag. Followed you three in game, plus a pet image approach. Hashtag Vagrous is in early access on GOG and Steam, looping our indie dev friends, and they list a bunch of people, their grimdark worlds to wow us. With their grimdark worlds to wow us. So I think that they didn't necessarily post their own game here. They also posted. No, this is just their game. Okay. This is just their game, and a lizard for some reason. So, what caught my eye on this was the artistic style chosen, uh, and in particular the UI that we're looking at. I think that this UI is something that at least myself I should take as a reference, because it looks really really freaking good. Particularly the first page where you see like the background, it's got look like some nodes or hexes underneath. So I don't know what kind of game this is, but just the skull, the scroll, everything here looks really, really cool. And I want to get your thoughts on this UI. I guess the first two images, and the third one is more towards Crawly, who has a, you know, originally was a Slay the Spire inspired combat system. That those are all in the family of Darkest Dungeon, particularly with the animations, the stilted animations and stuff like that. Crawly's gone a little bit further than that, but just wanted to get your thoughts on these images.
I mean, the art looks really awesome. Um, I love the characters. They have a very
Mm-hmm.
they have a very heavy metal vibe to me. Like I don't know if any of you've seen that movie, but I just looks so good, and the UI looks fucking amazing. Like it's very like post-apocalypse but Viking. It's weird. I don't know. Like that's all I
Yeah,
can think of
I
is
don't
it's
have
like
no
a
idea where he's going
post-apocalyptic
with that. Yeah,
Viking world. I love it. Like Conan.
yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
Conan meets Mad Max almost.
Yeah. But with flintlocks.
Exactly. I was gonna say, but he's got a flintlock, and she's got like this weird spear with like apparently some javelins or something.
Something like that. And then she's also a
Half
fucking
scorpion,
scorpion
half
creature.
person. Yeah. So
I don't
Crawley,
know. I'd still hit that.
lewd, Crawley. So
Tired. Shut up.
so Crawley, this is right up your alley, both in the lewd sense and in the sense that it's similar to certain aspects, I guess, of games that could be compared to yours. So, as a creepy crawly enthusiast and a lover of legs, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Of course you do.
Really love the characters. And yeah, the game definitely looks like it has some dark dungeon inspirations going on. Yeah, I'd really like to see some um, video footage as well.
As you guys
As
know,
far as
oh, sorry, go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say as far as the screenshots go, it looks very slick and very nice, very high quality graphics. I love it.
So, I also brought this one for a second hidden reason that I didn't want to mention until everybody talks. So, I know you're still pending. So,
Yes.
give your thoughts, but just so you know, we're going to talk about something else regarding this particular post. So, what are your thoughts on it?
The UI is really incredible, incredibly amazing. I really love this UI. Everything about this, the small details with the skull and the hand on the scroll, like holding it, and all the icons of this. I don't know. This is it looks like a character sheet. Yes, yeah.
Uh,
Plays human. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, with that all that detail in that first image with the skull and the stuff and the kind of landscape it's showing, there's surprisingly little detail, at least in what we can see in the combat scene in the background. It looks like a just sand
Mm-hmm.
period. It's now keep in mind that this is probably because it's in the middle of the attack animation and at least I think Darkest Dungeon
Yeah.
zooms in a little bit so you lose some detail of the background when the attack is happening. So it might be that. It's just interesting. So what the second reason I wanted to look at this is that we not only tend to critique the content of the Screenshot Saturday post and whatnot, but we also tend to talk a little bit about the marketing and the how well this is helping spread the notion of the game. Now, this tweet's a little different because it's a Screenshot Saturday post, but it's not originally a Screenshot Saturday post. It's one of those reply chains that we've all seen
Mm-hmm.
and been a part of.
Yes.
That he just added the Screenshot Saturday to the end of it and kind of killed two birds in one stone. So that leads me to three questions. The first question that I have is, does this particular tweet that's going to show up if you go look up Screenshot Saturday, you'll find this tweet without the one before it, so you won't get the context of it being a chain. We know it's a chain because, well, obviously we can see a little line, but we've also been a part of these types of chains. Uh, do you think this is a good first impression for new players? Is this something that you look at and you immediately know what the game is about and want to know more? Uh, we talked about how great the art is, and we all know that the art looks fantastic, and probably just on the quality of the art alone, it might get people interested. But the structure of the tweet and the style, I guess, the choice of having this chain plus screenshot Saturday in there and talking about other people. Um, do you guys think this is a good idea? Question number one. Excuse me. Do you think this is a good impression for new players who have never seen this game? This is a good way to capture their eye for the first time. Yes, no, maybe indifferent. Go.
I mean, it's 3 in-game shots and then a cute pet. Like, how can you lose?
Yeah.
Well, it
Enough
depends.
said.
You notice Crawley's lack of enthusiasm. The pet doesn't have enough legs, so cute is kind of subjective to the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, but see, that's why the scorpion's there.
Yes.
Who we will now dub Scorpion Mama from this point forward. Uh,
Yeah, she just needs to be in Master.
so, anyway, so first impressions. Is this a good first impressions? Is it uh, okay? Could it be better? Is it bad? Is it fantastic?
I think it's fantastic because it's basically like a Steam screenshots kind of thing where you like show different stuff. Like all the shots are from a different part of the game, and when I look at this, I really see that it clearly has a lot of depth. It's a very looks like strategy game, and I see the darkest dungeon vibes. I see um, like perks, factions, all that kind of stuff. All of those makes me think that this game is like a really nice strategical depth. And if I'm into strategy games, which I am, um, I'm really interested to check it out. Um, yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll be devil's advocate here. Um,
Mhm.
I think the images are fantastic, and they do have that Steam style, as Crawley kind of described, where they're showing different facets of the games. But I would argue that, well, first off, first off, we're not marketing experts, any of us, so this is just misguided uh, opinions from armchair opinions here. So take it with a grain of salt. But I would argue that a tweet is not just the images, which, as I said, the images themselves, just on the quality themselves, would get somebody interested. But if I analyze the entirety of it, the tweet itself is super confusing for it to be a first thing for me to see. When I saw this, and even when I reopened it, I wasn't sure if this was their game right off the bat or if it was somebody else because they're tagging a bunch of people in. Uh, he's talking about their grim dark world. He does obviously talk about his game and how it's in early access, which I think it was last week. We praised somebody. I think was it Alex who didn't have the whole Vagris. His game is in early access, but when you hovered on his name, that was the first thing you saw. These guys, the Lost Pilgrims, are putting in kind of their bio description. They kind of put it here again. Like in their bio, you know that they're working on Vagris. It's in their actual title, their name. They've changed that to Vagris as an early access. So it's almost like it's a little too hammered home. I would prefer that paragraph to be switched with a small, little blurb. What is this game? Post-apocalyptic RPG, tactical survival game. Vagris, rather than tell me that it's on Steam and on GOG. Because if I'm interested, don't worry, I'm going to find it on Steam and GOG. So what do you guys think to my devil's advocate approach?
Yeah, you might be right that for a particular screenshot Saturday, this might not be the very best idea, you could say. But still, I'm agree still with Crawley. If you are interested in these kind of games, these three pictures would be enough for me
Yep.
to click the account and to get more informations because they look awesome. I don't care about the lizard. Maybe this is just the fun. But yeah, this thread had been going around yesterday. I participated in this as well with 4 screenshots. Um,
And you
but
didn't
I
tag
did
me.
I did tag you.
Oh. Well, now
And
I
I
look.
did
Now I
and I
look like
did
a. Now
tag
I look like a dick.
Crawley.
Now don't I?
Yes, and I did tag Crawley. But none of you either realized or were not interested. But I didn't tag screenshot Saturday into this. I made a different
Yeah.
post. Yeah. But I don't think that it is particular a bad idea to use these threads to get more visibility, especially because in these threads are a lot of people as well, and you might scroll through this thread which you participated and maybe get inspiration from other guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my
Yeah, I
opinion onto
agree.
this.
Yeah, I think
I
that's a
think the
fair take.
But the
screenshots really.
screenshot Saturday
Yeah,
tells you
as
that
I said, the
maybe.
screenshots in and of themselves are going to get people to click on it. Because, like,
Yeah.
Crawly's the target audience, I'm the target audience. Like, this particular niche is going to click on more information 20 times more likely than somebody who's like a casual, who's playing like a casual platformer or something. Maybe they need a little bit more to, investigate. Just a thought on the description of the tweet. But yeah, this game looks fantastic, obviously. Uh, so Eric, you're a little quiet on that one. Got anything to add, or
Not really. I get that with the way that this post was set up, it's obviously was a reply first and then screenshot Saturday secondary, but I can't really blame him for taking advantage of
two
the
birds, one
tag.
stone approach? Yeah.
I mean, hell, I do tags on some of my posts just because I'm like, screw it, let's see what happens. So, and it does have some validity to it. It is a screenshot setup.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to
Keep in mind, I'm just being a devil's advocate. I'm not saying it's
Oh, I know.
correct or incorrect, but and again, their pinned tweet is fantastic. If you go look at their pinned tweet, that is just absolutely excellent. It confirms everything we were talking about, and it's a GIF, so he's really smart because he doesn't have to deal with Twitter video crap like the rest of us. So maybe you should learn from this guy a little bit. So good luck. So well done, Lost Penguins. Game looks awesome. I look forward to seeing more. I'm just gonna hit you up with that follow real quick. Dropping in that follow real quick. So last but not least, we got at Starbuster. He says took a short break after Sage, but things are slowly starting up again. Here's a peek at the next level. So I'm playing it. Okay, so it's already looping for me.
Yep, same.
Who wants to take a stab at it?
I guess I will.
Yep.
Obviously, you guys can guess that I absolutely love art style.
I think you were going to say that. Yeah, I had an inkling.
Yeah, no, like visually, the game is absolutely fantastic. It gives me both the feeling of kind of the old school type action platformer games, like your Mega Mans and such, but it does it in obviously a more modern way, and it's much smoother. Everything kind of moves with a nice kind of fluidity. The sounds are really good. I love the audio. Like I sat and played the audio. The music nice and you know fitting to what's going on screen. The sound effects actually have a nice punch to them, which I am very appreciative of. I don't like it when a lot of like games like these tend to think is like, oh, we need to be retro, and so they'll go a little too far in that direction, and it's a little too
Beeps
high
and bops.
pitched, even though it's supposed to be like a arm cannon or something. I'm like, come on, get a little bit of oomph into that attack, make it feel like there's an impact. So I'm glad to, you know, audibly hear that the weapon sounds actually have a little bit of oomph to them. And yeah, like UI is nice and simple. It's not in the way. Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing this. This looks fun.
All right. Let's go with Crawly. I know you're a little disappointed because it's reptiles, but not insects. But try to try to be as light as you can on this.
Yeah, the character is really cute. It looks like, or she looks like Mew which is a
Mewtwo,
Pokemon.
actually.
Mewtwo, yeah.
No, but I see what you
Okay,
mean now. You know
so
what? You're right.
far,
It's Mew.
yeah,
It looks more like Mew than Mewtwo. You're right.
yeah. Um, yeah, it's really cute. I can't like, I don't have anything to say about the art style. Um, maybe they can be improved. It's a bit too plain, maybe with the on the top right
Ah,
with the
he got me.
diamond.
That was what I was gonna say.
Um, yeah, that and I'm gonna kind of disagree with Eric here. I thought like the sound effects were a bit weak. Um, maybe like add some like screen shake and stuff when like the helicopter explodes, for example. It kind of feels like a bit weak. Um, it doesn't feel like a helicopter exploding. Um, yeah, like adding some juice, as they say, could improve that kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't know, like the sound effects, like the hitting sounds, maybe they would be better, like chip tune style, like old school kind of sound effects, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's my general impression with those. Other than that, yeah, the art is awesome. Great job.
Eno.
Yeah, as you all know, pixel art is not my favorite, but but again, you instantly picking the nice ones of them. Um, this is really nice, and I like the idea with this kind of cursor, which obviously works for aiming and for the grappling hook. I wonder though how you move this, or if it's no, it's obviously not moving on its own.
It's a mouse. I think it's his
But
mouse.
yeah, this might be this might be possible. But I like the idea that you take this and you can either grapple onto this position or you shoot towards this cursor. Yeah, like Crawley said, a little bit when things exploding, a little bit camera shake to show the heaviness of this would be nice. But apart from that, it's really it's looking great. Like an old school nice platformer, quite challenging and fun.
All right. So I'm going to agree with Crawley. I mean, my guy, you put so much effort into everything artistically. That like purple gem indicator that needs to at least be in the same font as Casey, or at least similar, or at least in the same font as the time left, or not the time left. Excuse me, the time you've been in the level. Because again, there's this it does not do any service to all the hard work you've put into. So my immediate concern when I saw this was, oh no, main character, female lizard. I was terrified at the replies because furries and stuff. But overall, nothing too jarring. So overall, awesome art, really great backgrounds in particular. Nobody mentioned the backgrounds. I think those need a little bit of love. Look fantastic. And I don't know if I agree with the screen shaking thing, to be honest, because this is more Mega Man X than it is, which I think is what you meant, Eric, more than Mega Man. So it's supposed to have all these crazy effects and stuff, and Mega Man X didn't have that. So I don't know if I agree with the screen shaking. And since the character is clearly really fast in contrast to Mega Man, there's some moments that they really speed up. I don't know if shaking could make it a little too much. So I don't know if I agree with that. A little thing that I loved was the death animations, in particular that they're not blown to bits, but for example, the helicopter just cut in two, and it's just the sprite literally cut in two. I really like that effect. Um, it reminds me of Mega Man Zero, the Game Boy Advance collection of games. And overall, great luck, great job, and good luck with this, because this I can definitely see this being a hit. So, anybody else got anything to say, or?
No, I'm good.
Good job.
It's a good work, Starbuster. And again, at Starbuster_game, link in the description. So it seems that we've gone through all of them today. That was a quick one. I mean, in contrast, well, it's been an hour, but we tend to last a bit longer on these. Uh, so let's talk a little bit about what does your week look like, boys? What will you be working on? What would you like to bring next Saturday? What kind of, in particular, things do you think people should add to Screenshot Saturdays that you yourself are interested in working on? I guess closing thoughts is what we're going to call this mess of a segment that we're going to end on. So I guess I'll start. Uh, I, for one, intend to continue working, obviously, on the resource generation and stuff like that, and overall the grand strategy aspects. In particular, I would like to have the end day cycle complete. I would like enemy parties to start spawning in so you can see more effects, and I'd like to add a little bit more information to the windows to be a little bit more clear, as was suggested today. So that's what I hope to bring to you people next week. What about you guys? That's some that
Nobody's doing
yeah, I know. I
anything.
just wanted to see how long the dead air was gonna go. Like, work with me,
you gotta
fellas.
point someone out, dude.
All
You're the
right,
host.
all right, Eric, go.
For me, I'm just gonna probably just keep working on hopefully a script for a potential comic book idea, just because I've been getting bored with playing games and I've been struggling with a few things, which usually means my mood is shifting. This has been a bit of a low month for me, so I think it'd be a decent time for me to at least try to start um, working on some type of comic book, which is something I've wanted to do for a while.
So I
So
got a question because
that's
I've
probably gonna be my week.
so I got a question in that regard because I have some friends who've kind of talked about wanting getting into comics and whatnot. I know nothing when it comes to how to actually become a part of that industry or do something. Would you do like is it worth turning it into a web comic first or something like that, or would you go straight to just straight up comic book? Like, how exactly would you? Because like I understand how you can the different ways you can get started in the gaming industry, but that industry in particular, comic books, I have no idea. I mean, the I remember when I used to read looking for group and stuff like that, so I'd figure that maybe taking advantage of the internet would be a good idea, and doing web comics and stuff for gaining notoriety or whatever. But I have no idea what the steps would be. So as somebody who's working on an idea, and eventually, hopefully, ideas come into fruition. Sometimes they don't. What are the steps that, at least the outline? What do you do if you're interested in that world?
Especially these days, like trying to do actual publication is very, very difficult. It's not cheap, especially if you're not part of a publisher. So if you're not part of obviously, I'll just say the two names that most people know. DC and Marvel. There's Image Comics, and there's so many comic book publishers. But if
Dark
you're not
Horse.
part of an official publisher, um, then there's basically kind of two methods you can go. You can either, well, three. First, like you said, you can do the webcomic idea, which is actually a really good thing to do. I would highly suggest anyone who wants to get into comic books, that should be where you start because it gets you drawing. It gets you into a scenario where you're not as heavily pressured on deadlines because you're not trying to get a book out every week or every month. So it gives you a little bit of freedom. Plus, it allows you to do smaller things. Like you can do one-page comics where each, week you do like a one-pager or something like that. But it'll also give you the experience of getting things out there, seeing how people like your ideas, which will give you some idea on like, oh, okay, this is something I can do. I'm good at writing, all that stuff. Plus, it builds you a following. So when you do eventually want to do a publication, you have at least something tangible there to say, hey, I have this many people who would be interested in a book. A second method would be, which can also be an expansion of the first method, is to try to do self-publication. There's multiple ways of doing that. You can either try to fund the publication like upfront yourself, either through your previous sales, like from things you've done before, Patreon, stuff like that, or you can do it through like a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, depending on your preference, and then use that as a way to fund getting your first amount of prints that you would sell, and then you use the profits from that to print more and blah 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 blah. And then a third method is to use a print-on-demand service. There's one called Kablam. That's Ka-BLAM.
Like the
I
TV
think they're
show?
still around. Kinda, yeah. Um, I think they're still around. They allow you to basically do a print-on-demand service. So they don't print until someone buys the book. So when someone buys the book, they print that book out and ship it to the person. So then they take a small percentage, obviously, for the publishing cost, and then you get the rest as profit, kind of thing. So those are kind of your three methods. I would definitely say the webcomic is the better one for the starting thing, and that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a webcomic. Although my webcomic's going to be more than just one page. It's going to be like an actual like multiple page issues. I'm thinking of like keeping it around like 20 pages per issue. But
Oh,
it's
so it's
definitely
not
the
going to
best
be
way to
like
start,
weekly
especially
posts then.
nowadays.
So it's not going to be like weekly post or daily post or anything like that, right?
Yeah, no. If it depends on how fast I can get pages done, um, and I might even do like a bulk amount at once, like get a couple chapters most of the way done, and then just go back and do come the finishing pieces while I'm working on newer stuff. But yeah, no, I don't expect this to be a weekly thing. I unless I can do if I can do 20 pages in a week, then I'll do it. But that's a lot of steps because you got to do your script writing. Then you have to, go over your script and make sure your script actually works. Then you got to do your rough layouts, penciling, inking. If you're going to do colors, you have to color it. And then you have to add all the lettering and stuff. And yeah, it's a lot of work. There's a reason why in American comics, especially, they usually have a team. So you have different people doing a specific part of the job. Even in Japan, sometimes if a comic gets publicated, like in like Shonen Jump or something, even if one artist can do all the work, in order to sometimes help them out if they're on like a rough deadline, they'll send them people to help them do certain aspects. Like here, this is a person who's really good at backgrounds. Let them help you with backgrounds so you can focus on the characters and stuff.
Excuse me. It's called manga in Japan, not comic books.
Called manga. Manga is literally just their term. Actually, manga originally was just kind of a term for any type of cartoonish animation, all that kind of stuff.
See?
I read a lot of comics.
Re. Okay, so Crawly, what are you doing this week?
Well, I'll start
You
redoing the UI.
you got that festival to look forward to. I mean, that's right around the
Oh
corner,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, I think it's gonna be on February, but it's tentative. I think.
Wasn't it
Like
winter? Wasn't it December?
No, it is in winter, but February winter
Hmm.
is not.
I don't know. When I think winter, I usually think like December, January. But I think
Yeah, I
February.
thought
I
it
think
would be.
technically spring doesn't start until March, like late March.
Yeah.
But okay.
I mean, they're trying to like do 3 per year, so they're like probably
Can you
trying to
participate in more than one or
a
no?
better span. No, you can't.
Hmm.
If you have participating before this one, which there was a summer
Yeah.
festival, you can, but after the autumn, you can't.
And is that like one a year or one in perpetuity?
One a year. You can't participate in the next year.
And I'm assuming by
Really?
year they mean the full cycle. So like it resets in
Yeah,
summer, because
356
technically,
days.
yeah, because technically, I could just, oh, all right, I'll participate in the fall one and then I'll participate in the spring one because it's different years. Ha ha ha. Aren't I cute? Aren't I clever? Okay, cool. So we'll look forward to your new UI stuff, and maybe this time your assistant will remind you that you actually have to post something so that we can look at it here. I'm sure that your assistant will get a stern talking to. after this.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are you going to be working on, man?
Yeah, first, first I'm gonna make the changes we discussed today, as regular, and then I wanted to go, which is on my bucket list for a little bit longer, to get rid of this little UI piece in the cooking.
Hmm.
So you can tap on the pot itself, and there will be the timer floating up upon of this. Yeah, these are the things, and then I started already a little bit with taking this skills UI as well onto an object. But this is gonna be a surprise. What this is gonna be then? Like the other things are, I'm not. Yeah, this is my plan for next week. I hope I can do everything.
Awesome. All right. All right, boys. Thank you as usual for being here. Everybody who's in the panel's information is in the description down below. And I think I'm going to call it. So
All right.
thank you, everybody, for coming. And no, I don't think we're going to be playing Among Us. So don't. So stop asking. She knows who I'm talking to. Um, and you guys have a good one. And thank you, everybody, for watching. As I said, stuff's in the description. Join the Discord if you want us to review your stuff. And thank you for your time. And you guys have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
You see, I waited, and I even waited to stop the stream while actually saying